Welcome to NASCAR Coast to Coast here on the Motor Racing Network, presented by Whelen Engineering, also brought to you by Hercules Tire. I'm Hannah Newhouse, joined as always by my co-host of Kyle Rickey. And this past weekend, the ARCA E-Series took to Music City of Nashville for and wait for it, it's the Crosley Record Pressing 200, presented by T-Mobile at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. It's almost like we went back to Worldwide Technology Raceway, Kyle. But Sammy Smith found his way back into victory lane for yet the second time this year.
Yeah, it's been a while since we last saw the ARCA Menards East Series. I think they last raced in March at Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola. Sammy Smith picking up the race win. It wasn't easy, though. Was on the front row for the initial start of the race. Jumped the initial start of the race in the judgment of series director Chris Wright. So he was black flagged and immediately went a lap down. However, it didn't take him long to get back to the front. I think it was like lap 96. He was back at the front of the field, led the final 103 laps to go on and score the win, like you mentioned, his second of the year in the ARCA Menards East Series over Mason Diaz. Mason Mingus, haven't seen Mason Mingus around since 2017, former full-time runner in the Truck Series, so good to see him back in the ARCA Menards garage. Connor Jones and Joey East rounding out the top five on Saturday night at Nashville Fairgrounds. Also good to see racing back there again.
Yeah, definitely. And again, this is the third race for the ARCA East Series. And as of right now, the point standings is Sammy Smith leading that with 141. Behind him, 15 points, Mason Diaz. He was busy this last weekend as well, racing Ace with the Cars Tour Friday night and catching a flight over to Nashville Saturday morning. Max Gutierrez sits in third, 22 points behind over Joey East and Rajah Caruth in that fifth spot. Their next race, though, this up-and-coming weekend at Dover. They'll race on Friday evening for the General Tire 150 at 5 p.m. You can watch all of that on TrackPass.com on NBC's Track Pass. And Kyle, we often talk here, we get to talk to a lot of winners, a lot of car owners, track owners, but we also try and talk to a lot of personalities, you could say, here in the short track racing world, and one of those has definitely come to be in Dylan Smith. Many people know him as Mamba Smith, Black Mamba on the social media, and he's had a lot of different roles in the racing world, whether that is driver, mechanic, team PR. He's all over the place, but he's recently gotten the opportunity, Kyle, to climb back behind the wheel of a car owned by Justin Marks at Hickory in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks' time at the Hickory Motor Speedway, a late model stock car teaming up with Justin Marks and GoPro Motorplex. They unveiled the look of the car just a couple of days ago. Car looks great. If you're a fan of GoPro Motorplex down there in Mooresville, North Carolina, the colors and the scheme match up perfectly. You mentioned Dylan, though. I mean, he is involved, I feel like, in everything. You mentioned car owner, you mentioned driver. In fact, his driving career started up here where I'm at in New England, a little further north up in Vermont before he made the move down south. Hosting shows now, does some work for Speed 51, does some work for NASCAR. So I feel like he's everywhere. And that's at his age, he's still under 30, pretty good resume that he's been building. He's not just a driver, although that's the dream. But he's really put himself out there. You mentioned in the PR world as well, on and off the racetrack. So can't wait to chat with him about his adventure coming up, getting back behind the wheel.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's all over the place, and you usually have to keep track of it via his social media. I think when I tried to schedule him, he was trying to figure out when his plane lands in order to be sure that he would be able to make it. He's definitely not in North Carolina. I can't remember where he said he is, but we'll find out here shortly. Yeah, somewhere. He took a plane somewhere for some work. Who knows with him where he's at, but we'll find out. We're going to have him on here a little bit later to talk about his upcoming race and everything he is up to. But also, NASCAR right now running a promotion. The Race Back to the Track digital sweepstakes is now open to fans who are vaccinated or pledged to make a vaccine appointment. Now through Monday, May 31st, fans can visit NASCAR.com/vax and enter to win tickets to the 2022 Daytona 500 on February 20th at Daytona International Speedway. To register for a vaccine appointment, you can visit vaccines.gov and text your zip code to 438829, which is also Get Vax. Again, that is 438829 to win those 2022 Daytona 500 tickets. We're going to take a quick break here on NASCAR Coast to Coast. When we come back, we'll have Dylan Smith to talk some short track racing.
Whelen Engineering, a global leader in the emergency warning industry, designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights. Whelen also produces white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and high-powered warning systems for automotive, aviation, and mass notification industries worldwide. Every part of every Whelen product is proudly designed and manufactured in America and is tested on-site to meet the toughest industry certifications. Whelen Engineering, a global leader in the emergency warning industry, trusted to perform since 1952.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTires.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTires.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Welcome back to NASCAR Coast to Coast here on the Motor Racing Network. We talked about it a little bit ago. One of the drivers making his return behind the wheel is Dylan Smith. He's teaming up with Justin Marks, and he joins us now here on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Dylan, we know you're busy. I think you just landed in Indianapolis not but a few hours before jumping on with us. So thanks for taking some time. And we're excited for your new venture here with Justin Marks. Talk to us about how this all came to about and then the conversation that led to you getting behind the wheel.
Thanks for having me on. I did just land in Indy. I'm up here for the Mecum auction. So that's going to be a lot of fun with Dodge and everybody up there. The Snowflake. That's where it started. Justin ran the Snowflake. I ran the Snowflake. Haven't seen Justin in a while, so we were catching up. And everyone's like, "Why do you pick the hardest race of the year to go run for the pro cars?" And I'm like, "Well, you got to pick." I said, I either have two options. I said, go run at Hickory, right? It might cost me $8,000 to go run. Go win. No one's in the stands. No one really cares, right? It's not streamed. Like as great as it would be for me, and I would care a lot about it. Like, is it gonna propel me into more races? It just doesn't. It's hard, right? So I'm like, if I go to the Snowflake, there's owners, drivers, sponsors, other track promoters, like better opportunity. It costs more money. It's more risk, more reward. But at least you're up against the best. No one's gonna question your talent if you make the race and you're banging doors with Stephen Nassie and Bubba Pollard and Derek Thorne, right? So that's kind of been my mindset. And we made the race, had Truly on the car for the first time, them being in NASCAR, was super cool. Bubba Wallace was there, the Ryan Blaney Family Foundation, Fatheads, Elliot's Trailers, a lot of people that are in the industry. So it was really cool. We made the race with Lee Falk Racing. And Justin was like, I'll help you out for a couple races around Hickory and Tri-County stuff. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, man. So it's kind of funny. I went up to Hickory a couple weeks ago to watch Marlon Yoder run his street stock. I left there and I felt like empty. I was like, man, I really want to get back behind the wheel. And me and Justin hadn't really talked a little bit in a little while. He called me that week. He's like, hey, man, I know you wanted to. I told you I was going to sponsor you. Like, you ready to do this? And I was like, man, you don't understand how much of a little bit of a hole you kind of pulled me out of. I was in my feels about not being able to race, and he called right at the right time. So that's kind of how it's all worked out so far.
You mentioned this all came together at the Snowflake 100 last year, the prelim to the Snowball Derby, each, I guess, November or December, depending on when it falls at Five Flag Speedway. What was your relationship like before that weekend with Justin for him to allow this opportunity for you to happen?
Yeah, no, we had just been around each other, right? In the industry, we've, been to some parties and been around each other socially, and been a fan of his for a while. And, everything that he's done, right, from being a driver to being now a car owner. And he's one of the more respected people in the industry. He's young. He gets it. He has a lot of foresight, and it's somebody that I can lean on, for my career and where I want to go with it. So, it's not just about the racing. There's a lot more involved, I think, with our relationship and where it's kind of headed. I kind of look at him as someone I look up to. and I hope that he, will kind of let me pick his brain a little bit so I can get to where I want to get to. But the opportunity is so cool. I mean, we've seen guys like Rico Abreu with this GoPro Motorplex on it, and obviously, Kyle Larson sprint car back in the day, and just a lot of. It's really cool to be a part of that lineage. It's pretty special because he could sponsor anybody. He could, support anyone, and he respects me enough to help me, get the seat time I need. Because the other thing is I said I wasn't going to go back to the Snowflake unless I got the seat time to be prepared. We made the race, but I made so many mental mistakes that I feel like I can't just go back down there, and making the race isn't the goal anymore. Like now it's like really going down there to compete. So need to get the reps and the mental reps and the seat time. And Brian Rogers at Circle Track Warehouse has a car, and he's like, hey man, let's go do this thing. So we're going to Hickory. I'm excited.
Yeah, that race, May 29th. And you guys can get on his social media to see the scheme that they announced, Lowline Livery, doing that really cool scheme with GoPro Motorplex on it. And Dylan, you mentioned not being in the seat as often as you'd like to. Myself in the same boat, obviously not trying to race as much anymore. It's not easy when you take time off, you've got these gaps, and especially at a place like Hickory where you show up, and Hickory's a tough track, but you race against folks that race 20, 30 times a year. How tough are you expecting it to be to jump back behind the wheel this in 2 weeks from now at Hickory?
You hit the nail on the head, Hannah. Like it's, me and you, I feel like we've always supported each other in our careers, which has always been like a special relationship for us. But just jumping back in is so hard. Like you just can't. Everyone who's at Hickory has been racing there for like 10, 15 years. And then even if they haven't, they've been racing all year and getting the test time. And you just can't quantify that and what that means when you go off and race against people. Now, I'm kind of used to racing like this because it's, been the only way I've done it. I'm kind of picking like one race out of the year. But the problem is, it's like I explained to somebody the other day, is I have a bag of tricks, a bag of tools. Well, I haven't been able to use my tools. I haven't been able to sharpen the tools. So it gets hard when you want to go to pull them out, and they kind of work, but they don't cut as sharp. They don't turn that bolt as nice as they used to because you haven't worked with them for a little while. So it's just about seat time, honestly, and getting prepared for the Snowflake. I really want to run well. I think that the team is going to be prepared. I think we're going to be good to go. We got good help, good support. Hickory is a place I've been to the most out of any track in the Southeast. So I'm ready to get back there, race with these guys. I don't know much about the guys I'm racing with. It's the Carolina Pro Series, so it's different. It's not late model stocks, but this is where what the type of car we're racing at Snowflake. So I think it'll be good, regardless of the finish. I think we're going to run strong and have a good day.
See, you guys have this special bond as drivers in the short track world. The only competitive laps I have in racing are, ironically enough, at GoPro Motorplex. So we got that going on.
Kyle, we got a bond though. We got a bond. A couple of New England kids. We got a bond.
True.
It's a little different. It's good though.
Absolutely. From Vermont, and I'm here in Connecticut, and some of the best short track racing in the world is up here. I still believe that. Yeah.
Dude, I saw. Wait, so real quick, I saw you post a video from Pomfret.
Yeah.
The car track.
Yeah.
I raced WKA there back in the day. I say back in the day, but back in the day, and they whooped my tail. Like we were terrible. It was all that track is hard, man. It's fast.
It's fast. It's a cool track, still in the middle of nowhere, at the bottom of a hole in Pomfret, Connecticut. We talked about it at the top of the show, everything you have going on in the industry. I mean, you're a show host now. Obviously behind the wheel, you do all these other things at the racetrack. What do you have going on? What's on the list right now for Mamba Smith? Other than part-time race car driver.
Yeah, man. I added to the resume with Sean Rahal. I became a bus driver. So I drove his RV. He went from Atlanta to East Bay. So for the beginning of the year for that All-Star Series deal with the sprint cars. So I did that for him. I didn't tell him though. I didn't tell him that I've never driven a bus until we were already on the road. So I was like, what's the air? I guess I got the air brake. All right, we're good. I'll figure it out. No, we gotta. I don't know, man. I'm working on my new company, my media company. We're trying to just pull together a lot of like-minded young people, and do some cool stuff with content, and just try to, spread wide. I think one thing COVID taught me was, even though I do have a lot going on, I had too many things in the same arena, and I enjoy what I do. I love what I do, but I need to get wider, and which is more work. Trust me, it's not like fun and games. I know, like, social media and everything, it looks like I'm having a great time, which I am. Don't get me wrong, but when I'm out in California for 2 weeks straight, worried about stuff on the East Coast like that, there's a stressful part in that now. But just building that out, working with people, trying to help other people reach their potential and chase their dreams and their goals and stuff like that. That's really what I'm focused on. I'm doing it in a lot of different ways. I get to be a host now, like you said, I get to be an MC for Dodge. Like, I mean, I'm not going to say I got a big mouth. You could ask Hannah and she'll probably tell you something different. But if you put a mic in front of me, I'm probably going to have a good time with it. So we're doing all different types of stuff.
Good deal.
Yeah, I was going to say probably next to Dylan and Kyle, which are, funnily enough, probably the people that I've known the longest out here on the East Coast. Of course, myself meeting Dylan at the Drive for Diversity program when I was about 15 years old. Kyle was about the same. I think it was the same year that I met Dylan, I met Kyle. So crazy to think that. But I want to touch one more thing, Dylan, that you'd mentioned.
Yeah.
You talked about having Blaney and Bubba on your car at the Snowflake,
Yeah.
and this whole concept of not only racers supporting racers, but this tight niche group that we've created here in the racing industry. When I raced last year, you helped me with some of my, my expenses, as did Bubba. I've also known that you've helped a couple other racers as well when you have that cash flow that you're able to help. Maybe just elaborate more on your thought process behind that, because so often anymore, people aren't willing to help. The funds aren't there, but I feel like you've surrounded yourself with a group of people that want to help you, not only behind the wheel of a race car, but also, like you said, in your endeavors of whether that's media, whether that's emceeing, hosting, kind of whatever you set your mind to.
Yeah, I mean, just to name a few, obviously Bubba and Ryan, Tony Stewart has helped me, Kevin Harvick Incorporated has helped me, Kyle Larson has helped me, Ricky Stenhouse has helped me, Arise Sports, which is in the industry. Just like, it's really cool. No, you hit it. Just like, everybody wants to see people succeed, and everyone knows how hard it is, especially in this world of NASCAR and racing. And I just want to give that back. I want to be able to help people whenever they want to go after their dreams. So for you, I thought it was really cool being able to do that. I think I've done it for Riley Lamphere. I'm going to sponsor Marlon Yoder's street stock. Marlon works at Hendrick. He's got his little Amish, they call him, I forget what they call it, the Amish Mafia. This is what they call them. And they're awesome. And it's just special. It's just special being able to do that with the people you've kind of grown up with. And I just want to give some of that back. It means a lot to me. It's not like I have a ton of money. I'm not living on the lake. I don't have a big mansion or, a Ferrari sitting in the front yard or anything like that. I just, if my bills are paid for, that's all that really matters to me. And if I can, help spread some joy in one way, shape, or form, I try to do that.
I guess I'll wrap up with the serious question here. Looked like you had a good time at the old Wells Fargo Championship last week. You a big golf fan down there in Charlotte?
Yeah, no. Okay, so here's my thing with golf. Okay. I am good at golf my dad wanted me to be like Tiger Woods. And I'm an emotional athlete. It just wasn't in the cards. I was throwing clubs at 7. Not it for me. But so Ryan and Bubba have really started diving into golf. Cole Custer, I go golf with him sometimes too. They're getting into golf. So I'm like, okay, I want to hang out with my friends. Let me figure out how I can enjoy this. So about hole 5, I'm usually like 5 or 6 Trulies in. And, that makes it pretty fun for me. I'm good in like best ball. You can ask William Byron. Me and Ryan took him to the woodshed in some best ball game, and so that's fun. But you don't want me to go like 18 holes strong. That's not that. I'm not your guy for that. But if you need someone to beat and make you feel good about it, I am. You pick me. I'll go with you.
You gotta love it.
Good deal.
More
Love
often
the
than
red
not.
pants too.
Yeah, more often than not, Dylan usually part of the entertainment. Again, that race 2 weeks from now, May 29th, you guys can catch Dylan in action at Hickory Motor Speedway. And obviously more races hope to be announced in the future. Again, Dylan, thank you so much. I know you're in Indy. We'll let you get back to whatever you were doing, and we'll be in touch with you.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Again, shout out to Justin Marks, GoPro Motorplex, Fatheads Eyewear, Elliott's Custom Trailers, all my partners that helped make this happen.
Cool deal. Again, good luck to Dylan. May 29th, Hickory Motor Speedway. But stay around for a little bit longer. We've got your Whelen Engineering, Whelen Modified Driver Spotlight coming up soon.
Whelen Engineering, a global leader in the emergency warning industry, designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights. Whelen also produces white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and high-powered warning systems for automotive, aviation, and mass notification industries worldwide. Every part of every Whelen product is proudly designed and manufactured in America and is tested on-site to meet the toughest industry certifications. Whelen Engineering, a global leader in the emergency warning industry, trusted to perform since 1952.
Sir, are you aware you were going 40 miles an hour? This is a residential area.
Sure, but I'm on my lawnmower? Wait, am I getting a ticket?
No, I've just never seen anyone top 9 miles an hour on one of those bad boys. And mow their entire lawn in 30 seconds? What got into you?
Well, it did fuel up at Sunoco this morning.
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. We've been doing it for American racing for over 50 years. Fuel your best.
Time now for this week's Whelen Engineering Modified Driver Spotlight, a driver that has found success recently at the Riverhead Raceway on Long Island in New York. They opened up their 2021 season just a couple of weeks ago. Shawn Solomito, their most recent winner, joins us now. And Shawn, first off, congratulations on not only the win, but it has been a busy couple of weeks for you and your family.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. The last couple of weeks have definitely been crazy for me and my family. We had the birth of our little girl 2 weeks ago tomorrow, and we were watching that day by day, hoping it wasn't on opening day or during any of our practice weekends. And thank God she came on a Tuesday, and I was able to race last Saturday. And here we are this week, and with a little luck with the rain, canceled qualifying, put us to second for the start of the feature, and we were able to pull it off.
Thankfully, Christy had it all timed out perfectly for you and around the Riverhead schedule for the opening couple of weeks. For you this season, a new team coming into 2021. Kind of talk about how that relationship came together for the start of the new year.
Yeah, so I went to the ISO 300 in November to help Justin Brown out. And I was walking around the pit area, and Oval Speed Dennis Freeze stopped me and said, "Man, you don't belong on this side of the fence. You belong inside the ring still. You still have it." And it's been almost 3 years now since I took the break from racing just to hang out with my kids and be a dad and coach baseball and all that. And he's like, I said to Dennis, I was like, I don't think there's really any car owners out here that are, looking for somebody to drive. And he was like, hey, why don't you go talk to Jimmy Rennick? See what he has to say. It's a good car. He's got good equipment. He's a great guy. Go give him a call. Go give him drop a hint that you were thinking about driving for him. So during qualifying, I went over there. We were parked behind him because I was helping Justin. And I said to him, I said, hey, if you're looking for someone to drive next year, if you don't want to do it, just let me know. I'm interested. We'll see what we can do. And from there, it kind of snowballs. He messaged me. We talked during I'd say Thanksgiving or so. And he told me basically, if you want to do it, it's all yours. We'll bring it to your house. You guys can go through it, see what you think, see what it needs, and go from there. And you couldn't have wrote it any better. We struggled a little bit through practice weekends. We didn't have great speed, but I knew the car was pretty consistent and it wasn't going to fall off. So that was great to know. And we've been working on it. Me and my father, we have it at my dad's house. We've been working on it in the garage, and we found a little bit of speed there last weekend, and hopefully it keeps going, the way it's been going, and, comes off in one piece and the top 5 every night, and we'll be there every week.
You mentioned every week and an early race win. Is this is the hope now to run for the championship?
Yeah, I got a couple things going on family-wise. We might be moving to Rhode Island to take over my in-laws' business. So that might become a little obstacle here or there. But right now, we're going to take it week by week. Hopefully, we can keep finishing in one piece, and the car don't need much work. So I can have a couple guys here hopefully maintain it, work on it during the week if we do move up to Rhode Island. And, not saying we're out of it, not saying we're in it, but we're going to take it week by week, and hopefully we can make something happen.
It's going to be a long Saturday nights if you have to go from Rhode Island. I'm just, even by boat, I feel like that's a long commute.
Yeah, I mean, I see Scott's doing it, so he definitely has a longer ride than I would. So if he could do it, I could do it too. If we could take the ferry over in the morning and then, if anything, drive around at night or stop crashing my parents' house or someone's house and go home Sunday morning. So the opportunity is definitely still there. And we're going to take it week by week, and I want to win more races. I'm still hungry, and I know I can do it. It's just a matter of, luck being on our side and best race cars.
Let's go back to the beginning. Obviously, we've heard the Solomito name for quite some time now in modifieds, especially in and around the Riverhead Raceway. At what point did you realize that this is something you wanted to do and you wanted to be a driver?
I mean, my dad used to race, so it started way back then. And then my older brother started racing go-karts, and I was watching that for a little while, and I was like, man, this looks kind of cool. Let me try it. And Timmy actually had a bunch of sponsors that bought him a go-kart already before I even had one, but he wasn't old enough to run it yet. So I got to try that one out, and it just snowballed from there. I've been running go-karts since I was 6 or 7 years old. And then, like I said, I only took 2.5, 3 years off the last few years to be a dad and coach baseball. But I missed it. It's definitely a lot of work and hard work, but it all paid off on Saturday. Like I said to Christy, when I joined Jimmy and Angela Rennick, all I said to Christy was, I just want to win one race so we can have a family picture. So, Landon doesn't remember 2016 when I won a track championship at Riverhead. We won 6 races that year. He doesn't remember any of that. So he sees all these trophies and he's like, you used to win. So meanwhile, he was down to Charlotte with us for the NASCAR banquet and the state championships and all that stuff. But he don't remember any of it. So for him to see Saturday and how excited he was, even Brody, my 2-year-old, it was all worth it.
I mean, it's got to be cool to have the family picture, a week after the birth of your daughter?
Yeah, she'll be 2 weeks on tomorrow. So
you have over 40 starts on the modified tour, a division that we cover here quite a bit on NASCAR Coast to Coast. You still maybe thinking about dabbling in the tour, or is the traveling stuff done for you, at least for now?
I mean, if the right opportunity came across where I could fill in somewhere for someone, I would definitely do it. It's hard, but if the right opportunity came, I would definitely entertain it. I'm not saying we're done running a tour or any of that deal right now. Just easier for me right now to go 20 minutes down the road and, race at home for now. But if the right opportunity came or, somebody asked me to drive, I definitely probably wouldn't turn it down. So I'm not saying we're done running a tour yet, because I feel like I still have a lot of fire in me to go out there and run good. And I know that I could probably run good if the right opportunity presented itself. Just all about hard work and the equipment nowadays. Everybody's got the same stuff, so everybody's under the same tent. So you need, 5 or 6 good guys that can change tires on pit road and all that. So it's not just a one-man team anymore. So if I could, I probably would. But like I said, it has to be the right opportunity.
Well, for now, the right opportunity, feel like, is at the Riverhead Raceway on Saturday nights, and you made the best of it last Saturday. Congratulations on the win. Congratulations on the new addition to the family, and best of luck to you the rest of the season. We'll be watching every Saturday night.
Yep, thank you. I just got to thank Jimmy and Angela Rennick for giving me the opportunity and putting me in their car, and it was awesome to get them their first win as car owners. And I got to thank all their sponsors, obviously, because without them, none of this would be possible. So hopefully we'll be there again. Hopefully we'll win more races for everybody.
Shawn Solomito, this week's Whelen Engineering Modified Driver Spotlight here on NASCAR Coast to Coast.
Whelen Engineering, a global leader in the emergency warning industry, designs and manufactures reliable and powerful warning lights. Whelen also produces white illumination lighting, sirens, controllers, and high-powered warning systems for automotive, aviation, and mass notification industries worldwide. Every part of every Whelen product is proudly designed and manufactured in America and is tested on-site to meet the toughest industry certifications. Whelen Engineering, a global leader in the emergency warning industry, trusted to perform since 1952.
It was a busy weekend this past weekend for a lot of drivers, many pulling double duty, including some of the drivers that raced on Friday night at Ace Speedway with the Cars Tour for the race at Ace 125. But it would be Lane Riggs who would get a breakthrough win the beginning of the season here over Bobby McCarty and Justin Johnson. Also, drivers busy at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Also in the Super Late Model division for the Southern Super Series, Cars Tour, and CRA Combo event, Carson Quapple with another dominant win at the Fairgrounds. He's racking up those wins this year in the late models over Matt Craig, Stephen Nasse, Jake Garcia, and Sammy Smith. And in the Pro Late Model division, it'd be Cody Coughlin over Michael House and Dylan Feccio. Florence also hosted their prelude to Darlington in the late model stock division. It was Ryan Glensky over Matt Cox and Anthony Adams. And Berlin Speedway hosted their super late model special. It would be Joe Bush over Eric White and Lee Van Dyke. And Kyle, I know you have a couple more that ran this weekend as well.
Yeah, I mentioned it a little bit ago. Talked to Shawn Solomito in the last segment. He picked up his first win of the season at the Riverhead Raceway on Long Island in New York over Kyle Sopa and Tom Rogers. In the crate modifieds, it was Chris Rogers picking up the race win. Chase Dixon won race number 1 in the late models at Kingsport Speedway on Friday night. Brad Housewright won race number 2, and poor Nick Williams finished second in both of those events. So just a couple of the results from around the country. Nice to see more and more short tracks opening up. Motor Mile, you mentioned Chris Van Dyke sweeping the night there in both of the feature events, and Kevin Light and Joe Kosick, or take that, Josh Kosick, picking up the wins in the twin late model features at Hickory Motor Speedway.
And we mentioned it at the beginning of the show, the ARCA East Series back in action this weekend at Dover. Again, you can catch that on Friday evening, 5 p.m. on NBC's Track Pass. And we've mentioned it a couple of times, but it's finally official. This upcoming weekend, the NASCAR Euro Series finally kicks off their season. They're headed to Valencia, Spain for Circuit Ricardo Tomo. It is a Saturday and Sunday event. Again, there was a lot up in the air leading into this season on when that season was going to start and how things were going to happen. But seems to be official. They'll have that doubleheader opening up this weekend. Last week, the modifieds are, Justin Bonsignor had a tire test at Richmond Raceway, and it's been a busy weekend for last couple weeks for a lot of these guys as they are getting ready to head to Riverhead, Kyle, this up and coming weekend. Yeah,
the Modified Tour going to run at Richmond Raceway later this year. Team's very excited about getting back to Richmond for the first time in a couple of decades. Riverhead Raceway, the Miller Lite 200 this Saturday night. I don't think we went there last year because of the pandemic. Riverhead was, much like the rest of New York, shut down. 29 cars on the entry list, including Tom Rogers Jr., a regular there. A couple of first-time regulars as well from Riverhead to the Modified Tour. And Ryan Preece going to make the trip up north to Long Island. Obviously, not a huge trip for him this weekend because the Cup Series races at Dover on Sunday. So he'll be in the same region. Eric Goodale, the championship point leader after 2 events by 6 over Patrick Emmerling. Tommy Catalano, Max McLaughlin, and Justin Bonsignor round out the top 5 in the championship standings, heading to Long Island this Saturday night.
I definitely expect things to be shaken up at Riverhead this weekend. Lots of racing action between local short tracks and also coverage on NBC's Track Pass. Be sure to tune in and support those drivers, those short tracks across the country. Again, we want to thank Dylan Smith for coming on here and hanging out with us here on NASCAR Coast to Coast. I'm Hannah Newhouse for Kyle Rickey and producers Craig Moore and Alexa Henry. And we will see you guys next week here on NASCAR Coast to Coast.